So how does a fat boy from nowhere get to be a soul man?
You gotta kill the person you were born to be in order to become the person you wanna be.
I just watched Rocketman, and it is absolutely an amazing movie, and I didn't think I was going to enjoy it as much as I did. Taron Egerton was absolutely fantastic, and the guy who plays Elton John's friend, Bernie, looks, when he came on the screen, I was like, is that Tom Holland? I was like, that's not Tom Holland, is it? He looks a little bit too old to be Tom Holland. But then I started thinking maybe it was through the miracle of movies and CGI and computer de-aging and computer aging, like Benjamin Button stuff. And I was like, is that it? For the whole movie, I kept on thinking, is that Tom Holland? It's not Tom Holland, but it looks so much like Tom Holland. I kept on thinking to myself, wow, dude, you are really, really far from home, Spider-Man. But as it turns out, Jamie Bell is a completely different person than Tom Holland. But they must have been separated at birth, because I swear to you, he looks like an older version of Tom Holland. But anyway, Taron Egerton plays Elton John, who, if you don't know who Elton John is, you need to educate yourself on one of the S-tier, or beyond S-tier performers, entertainers in music history. And those performers, I think, are people who are in the category as like Michael Jackson, Diana Ross, Queen, you know, the Beatles, Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, Selena, you know, these entertainers who are just, their catalogs of music are just untouchable throughout all time and space, okay? These are the entertainers that Doctor Who has playing in the TARDIS as he's flying through the universe, okay? These are beyond S-tier musicians. And the movie is basically, I wouldn't say a biopic, but it feels like it was a biopic of Elton John's early career, from childhood up until he checked himself into rehab, or he was checked into rehab. So I wouldn't consider myself a big fan of Elton John. I heard most of his music through the radio when I was younger, and I didn't really buy any of his albums. Like, the albums that I bought from artists from the 70s were mostly Michael Jackson and Pink Floyd and the Beatles and a couple others. Elton John just happened to slip through the cracks somehow. But after watching this movie, I genuinely will go out and try to get more of his music. But then the movie goes on mainly about his life as a child, growing up in London, I think, and getting his record career started, and then, you know, the trials and tribulations. So this movie kind of follows the same trajectory that other music biopics follow, where, you know, you see the artist's childhood and whatever motivates them to become an artist, and then you have their first gig and their first love, and then their meteoric rise and how they became a superstar and how they dealt with that superstardom, and then in come the drugs, and in come, you know, some of the publicity, and a lot of negative things happen. And this movie does the same thing, but the way it's shown in the movie itself is very well done visually, because every song that, I would say, was more like a greatest hits of Elton John songs, and those songs are integrated into the scenes in a way that makes sense for the scene, but also moves the story forward. So it's not just an Elton John song put into a scene for the sake of being in the scene, you know what I mean? So that really helped keep me engaged with the music, but also with what was going on screen as it related to the story, which I think was really well done, especially the swimming pool scene where he's underwater. I was like, wow, that got me pretty well. That, and then towards the end where he's singing Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, that one's really good stuff. But I mean, and most of the movie is like that. And I thought, because the way the movie started with a musical, I thought it was going to be like a musical, but there's several scenes that are, you know, choreographed dances and put to his music, a rendition of his music. And I think Taron Egerton is actually singing in every song. If he is, then good on him, because he did a really good job. But so did the rest of the cast in singing, if they're the ones actually singing, I don't know. So it was all very well done, and it's really worth to go see. Like I said, Taron Egerton did a very good job with his performance. I'd seen him before, of course, in the Kingsman movies, and he was okay in those. You know, those are more silly action movies. I think in Rocketman, he does a really good job of showing how well he can actually act beyond just, you know, super spy and sort of stereotypical leading man hero. He's very vulnerable in this, and I think he does a great job of portraying Elton's reluctance to accept who he is throughout most of his life, which, if you don't know by now, of course, Elton John is a gay man. So in the movie, he does a really good job. Taron does a really good job of sort of like accepting who he is, but not accepting who he is because others around him don't really accept him for who he is, especially his parents, who are a bit of douchebags, especially the father. Oh my God. Horrible person. Yay. So yeah, when they say parents can ruin their kids, yeah, it's a thing. So, but all the other cast, Jamie Bell, who plays Bernie, and I don't know everyone's names, but the guy who ended up being Elton's manager for a while and his lover, he did a really good job. I don't know if he was Scottish or whatever, but he did a really good job. And Elton's grandmother, who seemed to be the only one in his corner throughout the whole thing, she was lovely, just a fantastic person. I think everyone as talented as Elton John would need someone like his grandmother in their corner in order to become someone like Elton John. Just that one person that's like, you're talented, don't listen to what this person says, don't listen to what that person says. You're talented, go ahead, develop your talent and just be out there and just do your thing. I'm not gonna judge you, whatever it is. If you're having fun, have fun, get better at it. I think everyone would deserve someone like her in their corner. It was really good because his mother and father, now whether or not their relationship was as bad in real life as it is in the movie, I don't know. I'm not Elton John's buddy, but if it was anywhere near what it is in the movie, then man, he has some really horrible parents. But yeah, it was cool to see that Bernie was his writing partner. He wrote the song that Elton John ended up putting music to and performing. It's good that they had, like, something like 40-year friendship without an argument, so they say. So that's really cool that he had someone like his grandmother and Bernie by his side to kind of be his supporters and his partners, really, and through everything that he went through. So that was really good. The movie is fantastically shot. The visuals totally got me, especially with the music involved. And nothing is repeated as far as the visuals go, the visual styles, because it goes from, musical numbers before Elton's is famous to when he's getting fame, to when he's playing big stages and big concerts, to when he's actually back in rehab. He's actually a musical number there too. So it's really well done movie. I never heard of Dexter Fletcher. He's the director. So good on him. It's good to have a movie like this that was so well done and so enjoyable after having seen Men in Black, which was not. So yeah, go ahead and check out Rocketman. Definitely worth the watch. The music is great, everything is great in there. I couldn't think of anything negative about it. I don't know if that's because I was so enraptured by what was going on. My mind didn't have time to, point out or pick out like plot conveniences or, bad shots or bad acting like that. So maybe they're there. I couldn't see them. So that's it for now. By now I should have my review of Chernobyl up, the HBO miniseries, which scared the daylights out of me. Check that out if you haven't checked it out already. And I think I still gotta put that Godzilla review up, which will happen this weekend. I swear. All right, that's it. Take care. See ya.